Rah Hokum for the Boxing Voice. I'm here with veteran promoter Mo Pryor. How are you, Mo?
I'm fine. I don't know about the veteran, but yeah, I'm fine. Looking forward to my show tomorrow.
Yeah, you're doing that in conjunction with TM14 Promotions
Yeah,
and
it's
New Voice.
our second show together, and they're great lads. Listen, they're a pleasure to work with them.
You know what? It's great to hear two different promotional groups actually talk positively about each other.
I've worked with quite a few promoters out there, and listen, I haven't got a problem with anyone. I've got no ego, you know. I don't want to get one over on anyone. I just want to put good shows on. I think we should work more closely together, promoters, making the best fights for everyone.
Absolutely. I guess you've been in this game long enough to know that. Certainly at the higher level, we see all the back and forth between Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren. A lot of these great fights aren't happening. Is it because of egos, or is it actually just interest?
It's just difficult when you're promoted by different sides, you know, coming to the agreement, because everyone wants the big fights on their own shows. So I know, you know, big problems and that, but sometimes you just got to sit down and agree something.
So you're not obviously a promoter who puts himself as the centre of attention. So a lot of the fans might not know you. So can you tell us about yourself?
Listen, I was in the amateur game for a little while, Finchley, and then 10 years ago or something like that, I started promoting, because I've always been out to sell tickets. I've always loved boxing, but I'm certainly not in it for the money. You know, I'm in it because I enjoy it. But I put on between 80 and 90 pro shows now. I do all over the country, well, mainly the south, but I do Wales as well, you know, Southampton, Bournemouth, Southend. Listen, I've done loads now, and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I manage about 50 fighters.
Fantastic. Is it fair to say that at the small hall level, you are doing it for the love rather than the money?
Listen, you wouldn't do small hall promoting for the money. There's so many obstacles in your way, you know. I like to think of myself as a nursery, you know, for fighters that they start on my shows and then they get on to some bigger shows. You know, I've had some great fighters start on my shows, Denzel Bentley, Richard Riopole, Chris Congo, just to mention three, but there's a lot more than that.
Some illustrious
Liam
names.
Williams used to be on my show, you know, been on my shows as well.
Uh-huh. Would you say you've got an eye for spotting some good talent?
I might say I have, but other people probably say no. Yeah, I think, yeah, I can spot someone who's, you know, I remember years, listen, probably before you were born maybe, I remember spotting Lloyd Honeyghan at the Albert Hall when he was number 40 in the country, and I said, oh, that guy's going to be a world champion, and I was right.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it is essential because not every talent necessarily is going to come out of the sort of Team GB and Olympic setup. So you need promoters like yourself who
and
can.
It's so hard for the kids. Listen, I do ticket deals. It's hard for the kids. I don't want to do ticket deals, but you know, for me to put the shows on, if I can't get the sponsorship, then I've got to do ticket deals. Mm-hmm. You know, but I'll try to help the boxers as much as I can.
So in the time you've been promoting, have you had difficulties with other promoters, you know, poaching your fighters or not, you know, playing hardball with you? Because
not really. I mean, if I find someone speaking to someone, then I might have a word. But no, listen, there's a bit of a code. So to be honest, no. And if a promoter wants to put one of my fights, I don't mind my fighters going on. If it's a better show, they're bigger promoters than me. I'm all for it going on the shows, so no, it goes on, but I've not really had any problems with it.
I mean, when you take fighters on, do you have to try and guide them in terms of the non-boxing side of it, you know, the publicising themselves?
I try to, because unfortunately you could be the best fighter in the world, but you know, if you haven't got a big deal, you know, you need to be on social media, you need to sell yourself, and it's, you know, not everyone's like that. You know, I'm not a great one for social media, you know, so I can understand how the boxers find it hard. But then there's others who love it, you know, and they've got, you know, hundreds of thousands of followers. But don't mean they can fight, but they've got loads of people who follow them.
Yeah, I was speaking to some of the fighters here and who admitted they don't like doing the interviews, and I pointed out that apparently last year Jake Paul was the third highest paid boxer in the world.
I mean, if you're a boxer and you know, with all due respect, you see someone like that who's not put the yards in like these guys and all that. I mean, he's probably put in hard work in now, but they've lived and breathed boxing for years, and then you see the returns he's getting. I can understand why they're upset.
Yeah, it can be cruel in that sense, as you said, some of these.
But he can fight a bit. Yeah, I've seen some improvement in him. He's a lot better than I thought he was.
Uh-huh. Well, when you've got that amount of money, you can afford to train full time and hire the best coaches, nutritionists, all of that.
True. Yeah,
so,
that's true.
I mean, a lot of these youngsters, obviously, at the grassroots level, they're not earning the superstar money. So some of them have a day job.
When I take a fighter on, I explain it's not glamorous. There's some great people in the game, but there's some horrible people in the game, I've got to be honest. And it's very hard. Don't think you're going to come out, you know, be millionaire. You know, you do get the exceptions and all that, but it's very hard. So I like my fighters to have a job when I sign, and because you get, if you're training, you get a lot of free time, and that's when things go wrong. So I'd rather they have a sort of stable home life than a job, even if it's part-time or something.
How ruthless is this game? I mean, do you often see like promoters or managers using one kid just as fodder for someone else? And I mean, do you have to often?
It goes on. Listen, yeah, of course it goes on. I'm not going to name names, but yeah, you do see it. But listen, there's so much money in the game, like you're going to get it.
Yeah.
You know, so definitely.
Tell me, what's been your best memories in this sport?
I think my best memory was Chris Jenkins winning the British title, because I took him on and he was stuck in limbo a bit at the time. We moved up in weight, we got a British title shot and he won it, and he's defended it a few times, and he just had a good win last Saturday on Liam Williams' bill.
Yeah,
so
must have been
Chris is back, and listen, he's such a lovely guy, he delighted me.
Yeah, well, good luck to Chris. Like you said, good win at the weekend, and hopefully you can get some more big fights. There was something you could change about the game to clean it up? If you had a magic wand, or someone gave you all the power to control boxing, what would you do?
There's probably a few things. I mean, at the moment, it's all to do with COVID, you know, the COVID testing and stuff. That's a bit of a nuisance. You've got to do it, you know, but I can't really change it. That's a government thing. But I mean, we have got the best board in the world, so I'm trying to think about change. I'd like to see, like I said earlier on, promoters work more together and managers work together, that we put the best fights on, you know, and pull-outs and stuff like that. I wish we, you know, we arrange a fight and people drop out all the time. It's a professional game. I just wish people would pull out for no reason, or they agree a fight and then they just don't fancy it, because a lot of work goes into this, you know, putting shows together. And I'm hoping, because all the prices have gone up at the moment for foreign fighters and stuff like that, I hope, because of the COVID, I hope that comes down, because it's getting very hard for a small hall promoter to put shows on. Anyone who does, you know, I say fair play to them, because it takes a lot of time and at the moment money.
And I mean, you mentioned the COVID there. These past 2 years must have brought the small hall scene to its knees.
And we've lost a lot of fighters as well, because they haven't renewed their licences. And I started again, I think it was in August, putting shows back on, and I wish now that, with hindsight, that I'd left it a few more months and that, because it was very hard. I had people COVID, you know, testing positive on the day before the show, and you know, I was down to 4 or 5 fights, and unfortunately I had to cancel some shows. I cancel you know, I don't want to cancel shows, but if it's really going to hit me financially, what do I do?
Yeah.
You know, I know people get upset, you know, but if I've only got a few fights on, you know, one time I lost 5 fights in a day, you know, down to 3. So what could I do?
And that was all due to last minute
COVID
positive
and
tests.
stuff like that, yeah.
Wow, yeah, absolute nightmare for the game. And of course the fact that we need extra medical care,
Well, yeah.
that doesn't help either.
You know, but we do need it, you know, but yeah, and the testing beforehand, the hotels the night before and stuff like that. It all has a cost, you know, but, you know, we've got to do it. So.
It's interesting you mentioned that you think we've got the best board in the world, because the board often get criticism from the fans and critics who don't really know what goes on.
Yeah, but there's other, listen, dealing with other countries and all that, you'll find that, you know, there is things they could do a lot better. I'm not saying that, but, and I've dealt with boards abroad and all that, and the British boxing scene. You know, the medical stuff is rigorous and that, and they are there for the fighters. Sometimes I don't agree with it, but at the end of the day, they are looking after the fighters.
So would you say it's a myth that this perception that they can be influenced by promoters or managers or even TV companies?
Well, I don't know that the bigger from that, but I can tell you I've got no influence over it. So, and I'm not going to go out, you know, and say, but, you know, no, you know, I'm not going to say that. I'll probably be had up for libel if I say that. But listen, you know probably as much as me on that one. So.
On that note, we don't want to upset the wrong people. Mo, it's been an absolute pleasure giving us some insight into a small hall promotional scene. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Get on camera more often. The fans want to see you.
I actually like it on camera, but it's all the other stuff, Twitter and that, I don't like. So.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for speaking to the Boxing Voice.
For the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.